present For the Record.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to this very special edition of For the Record. I'm Mark Heinen.
Very special indeed, and I'm Susan Simon. For the past 33 years, this has been the place you would find Neil Heinen introducing you to people and issues of community concerns. But this is Neil's final show. It's hard to even read. He's retiring this week, and we couldn't let that go without some fanfare and acknowledgement of Neil's many contributions.
So for a final appearance on For the Record, Neil joins us now from home. Good morning, Neil.
Hi, Neil.
Oh, good morning, Mark and Susan. I'm supposed to be asking the questions here.
Yeah.
What's going through your mind?
Well, I mean, it's awkward to be a guest on For the Record. But in general, Mark, you know, just it's been a really remarkable experience just to reflect on my career and to think about not doing what I've been doing for so long. It's been such a huge part of my life. I mean, all of us would have exactly the same reason. This job that we do is it's a real calling, and to make the decision to stop doing it feels pretty significant.
It does for us, too. Big shoes to fill. For the Record has been such a touchstone in the community. It's one of the most important programs that we do. You've been doing it for 33 years. What are some of your memories when you think about this amazing body of work that you've done over all this time here?
Well, I mean, first of all, it was the first thing I did after, you know, having been on the desk in the newsroom for a couple of years. For the Record had been on, I don't know how many years prior to when I started doing it in 1989, but Ted O'Connell was the host for many years. I think Karch did it for a while. And for at least the 5 years before I started at Channel 3 in 1987, Ted would do the show, and he'd have a panel of reporters on there, and I was one of the reporters any number of times. So all of a sudden to begin hosting the show was really a remarkable experience. And I have met some of the most fascinating people and talked about some of the most fascinating issues for a half an hour, Susan. And I think that's what is really so significant about For the Record. Over the years, you know, news stories have gotten shorter and newscasts have gotten more crowded. And to have 30 minutes to be able to explore a topic or to get to know somebody who had something to contribute to the civic dialogue was really quite a remarkable experience, and one I really valued a lot, and I appreciate that the station valued it.
How did you approach each program? How did you pick a topic and guests?
Well, first of all, I've been blessed to work with a half a dozen really good producers over the years. Ellen Pritzkow was my first. Kathy Reinhardt, who's been doing such a great job for so many years now and is in the booth today, it was my last producer. And together we would talk about, the issues that were important. For the last 3 or 4 years, Mark, there's been a line of people wanting to be on For the Record, and I think it reflects a lot of things. Kind of a decline in the scope of journalism, just in general. So we were constantly being approached by people who wanted to do For the Record. But my approach was always to let the guest talk. I got a lot of criticism over the years for not being aggressive enough, probably not, challenging guests more. That's not my style, and I didn't think that was the value of For the Record. I thought For the Record was an opportunity for people in our community to talk about things that mattered to them, things that were important, things that we wanted other people to know about, and to give them the room and the space to do it. So, I didn't like to do a lot of preparation in advance in terms of thinking of questions. I tried to listen to the conversation and follow up in what might be just sort of a natural feel to the conversation. But I wanted it to be much more about the guests than about the host, that's for sure.
It was always informative and sometimes controversial. Are there shows you can remember that touched a nerve in the community?
I had some people on the shows, Susan, that were somewhat controversial in the news, in the local news. You know, people like M. Adams and Brandy Grayson. You know, people who the public really didn't know very well. Having them on For the Record was a real opportunity to explore in a little more depth who these folks were and what they stood for and what they cared about. And it wasn't always stuff that was that some people in the audience wanted to hear.
Many topics over the years. When we come back, a conversation with Neil about his other contribution to our community's well-being, his daily editorials.
That's when For the Record, a farewell to a friend continues.
For the Record, sponsored by MG&E, your community energy company.
Hi, I'm Jonathan Greenhut, the CEO of Plexiderm. And if you haven't tried Plexiderm, we've created the best offer yet with our Plexiderm 10-Minute Challenge. All it takes is 10 minutes to reduce the appearance of under eye bags, wrinkles, and crow's feet. Even the 11 lines between your eyes are visibly gone in minutes. Plexiderm works so well, makeup artists, celebrities in Hollywood, and even people across the country just like you look and feel years younger in minutes.
So I've had under eye bags for a very long time, and it sucks. I have spent so much money on tons of eye creams, eye gels. Finally, I tried something called Plexiderm, and I'm not joking. It works. When I do a collage and everything is done, it looks amazing. That is exactly how Plexiderm makes me feel. I put it on my face, and somehow, some way, I look together, which is amazing. I'm Jackie, and I took the Plexiderm 10-Minute Challenge, and so should you.
I'm Neela. I'm 61 years old. I'm a professional personal trainer. It's so important to be in good health and to be fit and take care of yourself. How it makes you feel inside is amazing. And yet, when you look in the mirror, what you see necessarily isn't what you feel inside. Plexiderm, seriously, I look 20 years younger than I did before. And that's so super important because my whole life is about health, fitness, feeling good, and looking good. And first chance I really got to look how I feel inside. Honest to God, it's amazing. There's nothing there. Like, the bags are gone.
The instant results are from naturally based silicates found in shale rock. Once applied, your skin tightens and firms, rapidly reducing the appearance of under eye bags and wrinkles in minutes. So if under eye bags and wrinkles make you look tired and older, take action with the Plexiderm 10-Minute Challenge. Try it today for only $14.95, plus get free shipping. Visit plexidermtrial.com or call the number on your screen.
On this special edition of For the Record, we're turning the tables a little bit and talking with your normal host of this program, Neil Heinen.
We've discussed this program, but Neil, you've had another role at the station, editorial director.
A little earlier, Neil and I talked about the editorials and his impact on the community over the past 30 years.
This is a WISC editorial with editorial director Neil Heinen.
Government spending is out of control. Here's a few examples. The United States Army claims assets totaling $346 billion. But the Government Accounting Office can't verify that because the Army's books are such a mess it doesn't know what it has or where it is. The UW Athletic Board is apparently giving serious consideration to a proposal to end competition against schools that use Indian mascots, logos, and nicknames. Saturday marks the 10th anniversary observance of Juneteenth here in Madison, and it is fast becoming one of this city's biggest and best celebrations. It's not too late to urge you to get out and vote. It's a bad bill that's been badly handled. Of course, Governor Walker set the tone on the day he was elected when he killed high-speed rail. A mental illness is no different than a physical illness, like diabetes or high blood pressure. Republican Scott Fitzgerald's fixation on the punitive, unwarranted, and politically motivated firing of the administrators of the state's Ethics and Elections Commission is just astonishing in its arrogance and its rejection of clean government. People around the country are laughing at us and wondering how much further this once model of good government state can sink.
7,478 editorials and still counting. But next Tuesday's will be his last. All right, oh, Neil, say it isn't so. You know, I realize that to everything there is a season, but why is now the right time for you to call it a career?
Yeah, Susan, you know, and the easy answer is just age, really. You know, I just turned 69. My wife Nancy is just a year or two older than me, and we've been talking a lot about what we want to do with this last stage of our lives. That's really the motivating factor. Is it's time to step back from the day-to-day pressure and just kind of see what life has to offer us.
Well, goodbyes are so hard, and you're leaving such big shoes to fill. It's been such a remarkable career. You started here in 1987. You came here from WIBA Radio. Do you remember what prompted you and motivated you to get into local journalism?
Yeah, well, I do. I just kind of struggled with college. It wasn't easy for me. I wasn't sure what I wanted to do. It actually took me 13 years to get my degree from the University of Wisconsin. But one thing that happened is I had to write a 3-page dissertation to get back into school after I had been asked to consider not coming back. And the associate dean who let me in said, you know, I'd suggest you try journalism. My first class was with Professor Jim Hoyt, who sort of took me under his wing and led me to WIBA Radio, where I worked for 10 years. And then Tom Beer finally came calling, and WISC was the next step.
Did you do editorials as soon as you got here, or did that evolve over time?
You know, I started in 1987, Susan, on the desk, shortly before you were hired. And during that 5-year window, actually the first 3 years, Tom Beer, the news director, had a lot of vision, a lot of ideas for what he thought broadcast stations needed to do. Some of those ideas were newscasts at non-traditional time slots that we now consider just commonplace. But he also wanted to do editorials. And he talked to me about it. And when he said he thought we should be doing editorials, I just thought, you know, that's exactly what I want to do.
I get a lot of questions about editorials, the purpose behind them. Tell me a little bit about what editorials are and why you think they're important.
Yeah, well, you know, what some people forget for obvious reasons is that 30 years ago when we started, hundreds and hundreds of stations in the United States were doing editorials. And it was very much like newspapers. You know, it's that long tradition in American journalism of opinion. It's a really important role in the community conversation. And I've often thought that's what editorials were. That's where the community comes to talk about the issues that are really important to them. WISC TV has always had a very formal, traditional editorial department. We want to get people to think. Maybe we provoke them to act. I mean, that's probably the ultimate goal, is to get people more engaged in their community, more engaged in democracy. And I think opinion journalism and editorials have a role in that.
You've had a front row seat to see how our community has changed and evolved over these 30 years. How would you explain how Madison has changed over the course of your time here, and where do you see us going forward from here?
I mean, obviously, we've grown considerably in population, in diversity. But like so much else, Susan, as you know, the lens through which we look at this city now has changed in the last 5 years. The race to equity changed everything. And while these issues were always there, I think one of the problems that we have over the last 30 years is we knew they were there and we never really addressed them head on like we should have. And so when we talk about growth, when we talk about the economy, when we talk about the business sector, the qualities of life that we have here, the environment, recreation, all of those things, it is a great city with great potential in every one of those areas. Now, the challenge is, of course, to make it that way for everybody.
Well, what's next for you, my friend? Even though you won't be in the chair, can we count on you being as vocal and visible in the community as you've always been?
I'm a writer. It's what I do. I write every day. I've written every day for 40 years, and I hope to continue to do that. I hope to continue to use what I've learned about this city and its people and what I care about. All of these things that I've kind of watched grow and evolve over the last 4 decades. And I think there's going to be a place for me to, at least use what I've learned and maybe help support the continued growth and evolution of this wonderful city. Last week, we lost a man to whom I owe a great deal of my career. I never met the man. In fact, I'd never heard of him until this morning. His name was Hubert Hub Schlafly, and he invented the teleprompter. Thanks to Hub and his team, I and thousands of my colleagues, actors, musicians, presidents, and others have been freed from downward glances, shuffling papers, and heaven forbid, memorization. With a reliable, you know what, we have to start over. The teleprompter just stopped.
And Neil, we still have prompter problems out here.
Yes.
So you have 3 more editorials to go.
I do, and you know, that reminds me, I always wish I had used a little more humor in editorials. We could all use a little more humor in our life. But yeah, three left. Very, very strange feeling.
Well, we're looking forward to them. All right, up next, we're going to hear from community leaders who have had some thoughts on Neil's retirement.
That's when, For the Record, a farewell to a friend continues.
Do you have a coffee smile? Drinking coffee causes yellow teeth for thousands of people just like you. And whitening toothpaste just doesn't make those stains go away. Introducing Power Swabs, the first teeth whitening system that lifts coffee stains off your teeth in less than 5 minutes without whitening strips or trays.
I've smoked, I've drank coffee, I drink red wine. It makes my teeth darker. And using Power Swabs, it's made a difference. People ask me, what do you do to whiten your teeth? And I'm really proud to tell them that I use Power Swabs.
This didn't sting, it didn't burn, it didn't have an aftertaste. It was just a swab, and I just got to rub it around my teeth, and that was it.
The Secret is a tooth detergent and whitening agent developed by Dr. Martin Ginniker that lifts stains off of your teeth. Power Swabs remove stains on natural teeth, veneers, bonding, caps, and crowns. The best part is you just swab your teeth for 5 minutes and you'll have whiter teeth. No more sitting at home with a whitening strip or tray in your mouth for 30 minutes twice a day.
So with the strips I've used in the past, most of them are like you got to leave it on for 30 minutes and the whole experience is just not comfortable. But with Power Swabs, I just snapped it open and rubbed it on and it was good to go.
When I used these whitening strips, I noticed when I would drink, I would get this crazy sensitivity. It would go right to my brain and I'm like, I hate this. So why do I have to go through the monstrosity of this pain just because I want to whiten my teeth? With Power Swabs, there was zero sensitivity.
Within the first day with the Power Swab, I noticed there was a difference. I really love the fact that you're able to go individually on each tooth and make sure that it's going to be wider.
Call for your 5-minute solution to whiter teeth. Whiten your teeth today by ordering Power Swabs and receive 40% off the regular price. Yes, 40% off the regular price. Shipping is free, plus you'll receive a free Quick Stick pen. Visit powerswabs.com or call the number on your screen.
Welcome back. Neil never likes this to be about him, but I hope you enjoy this, Neil. Neil, you've always had a lot of things to say about our communities and the people who live in them.
We asked some of them for their thoughts on your retirement.
Your dedication to this community, your knowledge of this community is unsurpassed, and it has served such a great purpose. I hope you realize what a difference you've made in this community. I know that you will continue to do so.
Through his commentary, through his shows, he's shown us how to focus on the things that are great about the city and the broader community of Madison.
Neil has been a consistent, equitable community voice. He has spoken truth to power, and he has not been bashful about letting people know, what is right.
Neil has played a major role in advancing the mission of our We Are Many United Against Hate movement. He also allowed me to do some of those publications in Madison Magazine, removing misconceptions about Islam and the Muslim.
You've made such an impact on so many people and have fostered so many ideas into reality. It's been an honor to sit with you on election night, analyzing campaign results and what they mean for Wisconsin. But most of all, Neil, I want to thank you for your friendship. It's something I will always cherish. Good luck, my friend.
Neil has been the conscience of our community for over 20 years. His editorials were grounded in fact, thoughtful, forged by years of observing and listening, and prepared with a unique insight into our county.
I am especially grateful that Neil was one of the earliest mentors for our Foundation for Dane County Parks. We hope he gets a well-deserved rest, but continues to stay involved in our community.
Every time that I would listen to you, I would think deeply about what a beloved community means to all of us, and you really represented that for so many of us in this community. And for me personally, you adopted me as somebody that you would have great conversations and that you would really push to do more for this city, and I'm eternally thankful for everything you have done for me personally.
You've done so much for our community, and I hope the next person will do as much. But we know there is only one Neil Heinen. So thank you very much. Enjoy your retirement.
I can't think of anyone who cares more about the health and welfare of our community than Neil Heinen. He saw Madison and Dane County's potential and worked hard to help us reach it. That is quite a legacy.
Thank you for the decades of friendship, leadership, telling our community stories, and for really helping all of us know how responsible we are as individuals for making our community as great as it is.
When I think of a community advocate or a public school defender, I think of you. I'm honored to say that we are friends. I value your opinion, and I use many of your words as my North Star.
Neil, there are many good journalists out there with a grasp of the needs and the strengths and the weaknesses of their community, but it's rare to find one whose understanding is as comprehensive as yours is. Calling us to become the best possible version of our community that we can be, well, let's just say we're all in your debt.
Neil, over the past few years, we've had some very good conversations. I've appreciated the dialogue that we've had. I've also appreciated the input that you've given to so many events and situations that we've been involved with. But what I'm actually going to miss much more than all of that is our friendship. And I value that very greatly.
Madison won't be the same without Neil Heinen on the tube every night, pointing to solutions, pulling people together, and challenging our community to be better. Neil has been a force for good in our city and across the state, with his civility, with his curiosity, and with his thoughtful advocacy for countless good causes.
You and I, we saw a lot of news in this state for a lot of years. And you know what, Neil? You've always done it right. You've always done it right for all these years. The consummate professional. And your words, your shows, everything you've done to help this community through good times and bad, really words that were needed many times, are going to be really missed.
I don't know how to thank you for the decades of service, leadership, and friendship you've given to the community, to United Way, and to me. You have provided voice to so many who didn't have a voice. You've been a trusted leader.
We would like to thank our amigo Neil for always supporting the Latino community and for covering the relevant issues to all communities.
We'll miss watching the 10 o'clock news, then the editorial with Neil Heinen, and then Stephen Colbert. That's our family routine every single night, Monday through Friday. TV for us will never be the same.
You're an individual who has always been a champion for the best in Dane County and the state of Wisconsin, and especially the city of Madison. I thank you for your leadership. I thank you for what you have done for this great city and county, for your advocacy, and I wish you the best in retirement. All I can tell you is you're too darn young to retire.
Thank you for the reminders to those of us in both the public and the private sector that whatever we do, it should be fair and equitable, whether it was economic development or education, the arts or food. You always made sure that you reminded our community the importance of diversity, equity, and fairness.
MG&E, building your community energy company for the future through the power of working together. Committed to cleaner, more sustainable energy, driven by innovation, fostered by shared values. Visit MGE2050.com.
You've
You've heard that an apple a day keeps the doctor away, but you still need to see your dentist because getting good dental care is important to your overall health. You know dental bills can take a big bite out of your budget, especially if you're retired or on Medicare. Even a simple cleaning can cost $200. And other procedures like crowns and root canals can cost hundreds, even thousands more. But affordable dental insurance from Physicians Mutual Insurance Company can help. Give us a call or go online for this free information kit with all the details. This isn't just a discount plan or for checkups only. This is real dental insurance that can help pay for over 350 covered procedures, like cleanings, fillings, crowns, even dentures. There are no deductibles, no annual maximum, and you can see any dentist you like. So don't wait. Call or go to sendinfokit.com to get your free information kit. Call now.
Garver. Garver.
Gathering. Gathering.
Garver.
Gathering.
Garv.
Garvering.
A socially responsible gathering where a maximum of 250 people enjoy thirst-quenching drinks, delicious food, and the arts in a safe, clean, and touchless outdoor environment. Let's go garvering. Visit thegarverfeedmill.com for dates and details starting June 11th.
Brought to you by News 3 Now, Madison Magazine, and the Garver Feed Mill.
MG&E, building your community energy company for the future through the power of working together. Committed to cleaner, more sustainable energy, driven by innovation, fostered by shared values. Visit MGE2050.com.
At any retirement party or farewell, there comes a moment to hear from the honored guest.
It's that time to hear some final thoughts from Neil Heinen. Neil, you get the final word.
Well, first of all, Susan and Mark, thanks for doing this. Thanks for filling in for me over the years, as you did. I did my first For the Record on March 8th, 1989, and my last For the Record on March 8th, 2020. Other than this one, so I really appreciate it. I think it's important to say that this show has represented the Murphy Burns family's commitment to community affairs, to the responsibilities of a local broadcast station. And Liz Murphy Burns and Brian Burns, the COO, have supported this show, have supported me doing it over all these years, and it's going to continue. And I think that's really, really important. It'll look different. I think it'll be more inclusive. It's going to be more diverse, which is so important right now. But it has been just a remarkable honor to have 30 minutes every week to talk to the people who care about this community, who care about the lives of citizens in this community.